Hey guys, happy Saturday morning to Eastern Shore Talk. So I want to do something a little bit different this morning. I normally would pop on a Saturday morning and put a written post on the group, but I think it's important that I do this one kind of in person, kind of sort of. I've talked a lot about gratitude in the group, and I talk a lot about the 4 pillars in my life that have helped me get to where I am. But I've left out the 2 most important points of gratitude for me in my journey. And the first one is a 6-year-old little boy who was sexually abused and neglected and abandoned and lost and hopeless and just struggled. If he doesn't go through what he went through, I'm not the man that I am today. There's no question. He had no choice in the matter. He was dealt a lousy hand in life, but he never gave up. He struggled through. He got by somehow. And I live my life today to honor him because, like I said, I don't, the very best qualities of me don't exist without what he went through. And there's no way I can't move forward in my life and not try to live the best life I can and not honor him so that what he went through wasn't in vain. That's the very least that I could do. I talk a lot in the in-person group about I carry my 6-year-old self with me, and there's not a day that goes by that I don't look back and I remember and I thank him. He was pretty badass at the time, and he didn't know. He's my hero, and I don't get here without him. Which brings me to my second point of gratitude. About 8 years ago, I found God. And the decision to seek out a relationship with God was the best decision I've ever made in my life, by far. And I know now that it was God's grace that helped that 6-year-old little boy get through. So, in my journey in finding God, about 4 years ago, I had a conversation with one of my 4 pillars, and she said to me, it's the first time anybody had ever said this to me, she said, "Jay, have you ever thought about using your story to help others?" And it struck me because knowing me and knowing how averse I was to talking in front of people or people in general, that just, it kind of was nonsense to me. But as I thought about it and I got in the shower that night, I'm thinking to myself, what would I say if I was sitting in front of a group of people that could possibly help them? And as I'm standing there, and I had heard people talk about getting visions from God or voices from God that directed them in a certain direction in their life. It wasn't anything like that. It was just this sudden internal realization that everything that I had been through was leading me to serving other people. And for the first time in my life, I had purpose. And that's an amazing thing. To have God choose me as a messenger. It's life-changing. So that leads me to my purpose of sharing all this with you today. I know there are a lot of people out there, everybody has a story. And it's hard to share that story because we're so afraid of letting people see the very worst parts of us. But my invitation is this. If you have a story and you're willing to share, whether it's in a video testimonial or written testimonial in the group, great. We'd love to hear it. Someone needs to hear what you have to say. Showing somebody who you are and have somebody realize for the first time that they're not alone it doesn't get any better than that as far as serving other people. And if the whole social media thing is scary and you don't want to share your story in that way, I completely understand it. It's social media is not the most friendly place as it is. But our in-person groups are a more intimate, more private way to be able to do that. And I can tell you this, and everybody who's been to the in-person groups will tell you the same thing. When you come, you'll learn, you'll grow, you'll feel, you'll have a comfortable place to have uncomfortable conversations, and you will not feel alone. That's the big thing about the in-person groups. And you're probably going to cry because you'll be inspired and impacted to feel emotion. That happens all the time. You will leave having been glad that you came. So again, my invitation is this: if you have a story, let's hear it. Your story is your superpower. So let's see your superpower. And if not, please join us in person. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. Our next one, December 5th, 5:30 at Channel Marker. And you guys have a great Saturday.